destroy a certain amount of the pyramids because you had a couple left so you could get rid of the one over here. You would not get it. People at the World Heritage Committee understand Indigenous culture. In fact, they have a far greater understanding of cultural heritage than they do of natural heritage. And they would be horrified to learn about what's happening here. And so in my view, we need to now bypass the focus on the Tasmanian government and go straight to the federal government. They are responsible for Australia's heritage. This area, as the archaeological reports are showing, has outstanding universal value. That is what World Heritage is, outstanding universal value. And no one in their right mind would be putting a bridge and a flyway over the top of an area of outstanding universal value. We wouldn't tolerate it in other places. We should not be tolerating it in Tasmania, and we need the federal government now to engage. It's absolutely critical. We've got Peter Garrett, the Minister, has with him an application for a listing of this site as National Heritage and World Heritage. No further work should be done that damages this site in any shape or form until the federal government engages, comes down here, has a proper assessment of the site and properly assesses the alternative routes. It is not good enough to say, we didn't get the permits, we've spent this money, we're just going to go ahead. It's too bad now because, as people have said, we have lost so much Indigenous heritage and we're going to lose more if roads continue to be built and people think it's okay just to put a bridge over the top. This is a critical cultural site for Tasmania, and in the future, people will come to marvel at it. We need a big interpretation centre so people can understand it and people can really appreciate what 42,000 years of continuous existence of a life in that valley means. That's what we need to be aiming for now. Celebrate the discovery, stop the road, get Peter Garrett down here, and if the Labor Party is not re-elected and we have a different government, then whoever is, before the election, we need to know from Julia Gillard and from Tony Abbott whether they mean what they say when they talk about Indigenous heritage. We need to know before the election whether the federal government will intervene, come down here, look at the archaeological reports and bypass the bypass. When others around the country come to understand what is at stake here, you will get the support of the broad community across Australia who are increasingly interested, excited by Indigenous heritage and culture. Everywhere I go, you get tourists coming to Australia, and they are coming here because they want to understand the Indigenous culture of this country. And yet we have this absolute gem here now in terms of an archaeological site, in terms of a community of people who want to interpret the past. We want people in the broader community in Tasmania to stand up and say, we are really proud that here we have the southernmost example of a fantastic archaeological site. So let's get behind it. Let's get the Minister down here before the election. Let's all go home today, write an email, ring up, get the Minister down here and get a stop to this bridge proposal. Let's get the alternatives looked at. Let's get the work on this stopped before the election. And we can do it if we really put our minds to it. Thank you.
Christine Mills, the Prime Minister, I say.